Let me tell you something that almost no one tells you when you need it the most. If she has gone silent, if her replies have become shorter, if you feel like you're the only one still trying, stay with me for the next few minutes. Because what you do now will determine everything that happens next. Not what she does, what you do. I know the cycle you're trapped in. Replaying the last conversation in your head, searching for the one sentence that ruined everything, checking your phone every few minutes as if it owes you something, watching the hours pile up, each one feeling heavier than the last. That feeling is real, but it isn't information, it's noise. And here's the part almost nobody says out loud. Her silence isn't the crisis. Your reaction to her silence is the crisis. Most men make the same mistake at this point. They let their emotions take the wheel. They chase harder, text more often, analyze every tiny detail until they're exhausted, and without realizing it, they slowly lose the very thing that made them attractive in the first place, their confidence. So if you were sitting in front of me right now asking, what should I do? I'd tell you to forget everything you've heard for a moment. Instead, let me share 6 ideas that can change not only how you handle this situation with her, but how you handle every important relationship in your life. First, the biggest battle begins inside your own mind. Before we talk about her, let's talk about you, because the moment she starts acting differently, something happens that almost nobody notices. The real conflict doesn't begin in the relationship, it begins inside your own mind. Imagine this. You wake up, grab your phone, and the first thing you do is check whether she replied. Nothing. You tell yourself, she's probably busy. An hour passes. Still nothing. That's when your thoughts begin to change. Did I say something wrong? Is she talking to someone else? Has she lost interest? By the end of the day, you've built an entire story in your head even though she hasn't actually said anything at all. That's the trap. The human mind hates uncertainty. When we don't have answers, we create them ourselves. And the problem is that those answers almost always come from fear, not from facts. I've seen countless people destroy relationships that were actually going well simply because they reacted to assumptions instead of reality. Instead of waiting for clarity, they let their imagination take control. They send long emotional messages. They apologize for things they never even did. They obsessively check social media looking for signs that probably mean nothing. And with every passing hour, the anxiety grows a little stronger. But let me ask you something. Has overthinking ever truly solved a relationship problem? Probably not. It only steals your peace. I want you to remember this. Just because she has become quiet doesn't automatically mean she's trying to hurt you. Maybe she's overwhelmed. Maybe she's dealing with something personal. Maybe she's confused about her own feelings. Or maybe she really is pulling away. The truth is, you don't know yet. And until you do, don't let fear convince you that the worst possible explanation must be the correct one. Real confidence isn't pretending you don't care. Real confidence is having the patience to wait for the facts before you react. Because once you react emotionally, you can't take those words back. So the next time you're staring at your phone, tempted to send one more message simply because your mind is creating horror stories, stop, take a deep breath. Then ask yourself one simple question. Am I reacting to what actually happened or to the story I've created in my own mind? That single question can save you from making a decision you'll later regret. And believe me, most relationships don't end because of silence. They end because of the panic that silence creates. Second, stop chasing answers that aren't being given to you. Once your mind starts filling in the blanks, the next mistake almost every man makes is trying to force clarity. Think about it. She doesn't reply for hours, maybe even an entire day. Instead of waiting, you convince yourself that one more message will fix everything. So you text again. Are you okay? No reply. A little later, you send another message. Did I do something wrong? Still nothing. That's when frustration takes over. You send a long paragraph explaining how you feel, apologizing for things you're not even sure you did, hoping that if she reads your words, everything will go back to the way it was. But let me ask you something. Have you ever seen someone become more interested because they felt pressured? Probably not. The more a person feels chased, the more they need to pull away just to breathe. Imagine holding a bird in your hands. If you hold it gently, it feels safe. But if you squeeze tighter because you're afraid it might fly away, what happens? You become the very reason it wants to escape. Relationships work in much the same way. Sometimes, the harder you try to hold on to something, the faster it slips through your fingers. That doesn't mean you should suddenly become cold or pretend you don't care. It means you need to understand the difference between showing genuine interest and seeking validation. Showing interest means sending a thoughtful message and giving the other person the space to respond. Seeking validation means sending message after message because you need immediate reassurance that everything is okay. Those are two completely different things. One comes from confidence, the other comes from fear, and people can sense that difference even through a screen. So if she starts pulling away, don't make your entire day revolve around waiting for a reply. Go to work, hit the gym, spend time with your family, call a friend, read a book. Keep living your life instead of putting it on hold while waiting for a notification. Because there's something many people learn far too late. When your happiness depends entirely on someone else's attention, you slowly lose control over your own emotions. And the moment that happens, you're no longer the one choosing your actions. Fear is choosing them for you. Never let fear become the author of your decisions. If she wants to talk, she'll have the space to come back. If she doesn't, no amount of chasing will create feelings that simply aren't there. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do isn't sending another message. It's trusting yourself enough to wait while continuing to build a life that doesn't stop just because someone else has gone silent. Third, respect her space but never abandon yourself. This took me a long time to understand. Giving someone space isn't a strategy to make them miss you. It's a sign that you respect both yourself and the other person. Many people hear the phrase, "give her space," and misunderstand it as some kind of psychological trick. If I disappear for a few days, she'll come running back. That's not what I'm talking about. Real space isn't a game. It's accepting that you cannot control another person's thoughts, feelings, or decisions. Imagine you're talking to someone who clearly needs a little time to themselves. Now imagine two different reactions. In the first, you keep calling, you keep texting, you keep asking what's wrong, hoping they'll eventually respond the way you want. In the second, you simply tell yourself, if she needs time, I'm going to respect that. Which response demonstrates greater emotional maturity? The second one. Because emotional maturity isn't about controlling the situation, it's about controlling yourself. There's something many people still don't understand. The moment you stop trying to control someone else's behavior, you begin to find peace in your own. You stop checking your phone every 5 minutes. You stop wondering who she's talking to. You stop letting every delayed reply determine whether your day is good or bad. And that's powerful, not because it guarantees she'll come back, but because it guarantees that you won't lose yourself in the process. There's another lesson hidden in that. Never make one person the center of your entire world. If your daily happiness depends on a conversation, a notification, or the attention of one person, then you've built your emotional life on something you can't control. Instead, build a life that excites you with or without anyone else's approval. Keep pursuing your goals. Learn new skills. Spend time with people who genuinely value you. Take care of your health. Become someone whose life is already full, not someone who's waiting for another person to complete it. There's something I need you to understand before we continue. Nothing that comes next will matter unless you've truly absorbed what we've already discussed. So let's move on. Fourth, your actions speak louder than any message you could ever write. Here's an uncomfortable truth. You can write the perfect text, choose every word carefully, spend 20 minutes drafting and rewriting it. And still, it may change absolutely nothing. Why? Because words that come from anxiety rarely convince anyone. What truly communicates something is how you live your life while you're waiting. Think about it this way. If someone sees you posting fun moments, working out, spending time with friends, making progress in your career, they receive a silent message. This man is doing just fine with or without me. And without saying a single word, that creates far more respect and often far more attraction than any emotional paragraph explaining how you feel. Now compare that to the opposite. Someone who disappears from everything, stops posting, stops going out, locks themselves away, waiting for a reply as though their entire life depends on a single notification. That behavior communicates the opposite. Dependence, urgency, fear. And fear doesn't attract people. It pushes them away. That doesn't mean you have to pretend you're happy when you're not. It means that instead of giving all your mental energy to one person, you invest it back into your own life. Finish that project you've been putting off. Go to the gym even when you don't feel like it. Call that friend you haven't spoken to in a long time. Every one of those small actions gives you back something anxiety had taken from you. Control over your own time. And here's something very few people talk about. The goal isn't to do all of this so she'll notice and come back. The goal is to do it because you need it, regardless of what she decides. If you're only doing these things as a strategy to impress her, sooner or later it will show. People can tell the difference between what's genuine and what's an act. The only version that truly works is the one that comes from within, the one you can sustain, even if she never texts you again. That's the difference between building your life for yourself and putting on a performance for someone else. Fifth, learn to recognize the difference between temporary distance and genuine loss of interest. This is important because not all distance means the same thing. Some people pull away for a few days because they're processing something, because they've had a difficult week, because they need silence in order to think. And then there are people who pull away because they've already made a decision, they just don't know how to say it out loud. The question isn't how much time has passed without a reply. The question is, what pattern keeps repeating over time? If, after a few days, she comes back and speaks with the same warmth she always had, that usually means she needed space, not that she lost interest. But if the pattern repeats itself over and over, if every time she comes back she's colder, shorter, more distant, then it's time to be honest with yourself. Not to punish yourself, not to dramatize the situation, but to stop investing emotional energy into something that's already giving you an answer, just not in words. Many men stay trapped in this grey area for years because they prefer uncertainty over painful clarity. They'd rather keep waiting than accept that it's over. And honestly, that's worse than direct rejection because it keeps you frozen in a place where you neither move forward nor heal. Emotional maturity also means knowing when a situation has already given you its answer, even if nobody has spoken it out loud. You don't need a message saying, "I don't want to continue anymore," to realize that something has faded. Sometimes prolonged, repeated silence with no explanation is the answer, and accepting it early can save you months of unnecessary pain. Sixth, and most importantly, your value is not measured by whether she stays or leaves. This is the lesson that changes everything else. Many men grow up believing their worth depends on whether they can keep someone in their life. If she stays, they feel like they've won. If she leaves, they feel like they've failed as men. That's a dangerous mental trap, because it places your self-worth in the hands of decisions you cannot control. You cannot control what another person feels, what they decide, or what they need. The only things you can control are how you show up in the world, how you treat other people, how you handle uncertainty, and what kind of man you choose to be even during life's hardest moments. When you truly understand this, something changes inside you. You stop chasing crumbs of attention as if they were proof of your worth. You stop measuring your self-esteem by who replies to your messages and who doesn't. You begin building a version of yourself that can stand on its own with or without a relationship. And here's the interesting part. That's exactly the kind of energy that makes people want to stay. Not desperation, not chasing, strength. So if she's pulling away right now, don't see it as the end of the world. See it as a silent test that's revealing who you are when no one is validating you. Will you become someone who begs for attention? Or will you become someone who keeps building his life with calmness, purpose, and confidence, trusting that time and people's actions will eventually reveal the truth? Bro, the answer to that question won't just define this situation. It will define every relationship you'll ever have. Work on yourself. The rest will fall into place.